Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nicky Delaney. So what?
Yeah, it's the third part of the Noel Concorde Odyssey. It's a BBC One special event, you could call it, from 1989, where Noel Edmonds took to the skies, as he enjoyed doing, and got on board Concorde and went all the way to America in a 50-minute special. Not live, sadly, because that would have took 3 hours and that would have bored the tits off of everyone. Plus, I don't think it would have been possible, or would it? Because it was only a few years before when Phil Collins went from
you can't follow
London
it the whole
to Philadelphia.
Way. I don't think you can follow it the whole way. You keep losing signal, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it would be messy. So Noel obviously had that in mind. So this is just a pre-recorded, edited thing. We're just at the point, a few minutes in, and Noel has quite simply said, out on the ramp, the lady herself. Yeah. Every glamorous inch, personifying the British Airways radio call sign, Speedbird.
Speedbird.
Every glamorous inch of her, the lady, of course.
Glistening,
she's speedy.
Glistening, firm, yet moist. That's Concorde. That's Speedbird.
She's speedy, and she's a bird.
And I'm going to fly on her, but not before I put my cock in it.
I'm going to be inside her very soon. I'll be inside her for just over 3 hours, which I think you'll agree is quite a feat. Oh, we've got some noise in the background.
If you hear, apologies if you hear noise in the background. This is I'm recording with Cookie the dog inside the Vita Modular. The last time I attempted this, listeners may remember that she defecated on the floor of the Vita Modular.
You did, yeah.
I have now assembled the pen to contain her.
Right.
I put her bed in, and I've also taken a precaution of putting in some, I don't know what you call them, absorbent pads.
Right.
Right, in case she gets caught short while I'm podcasting. And I
doesn't sound all that happy about this.
I can't leave her in the house on her own, so she's had to come over. She doesn't know. I'll admit she's not that happy. She's confused. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing here. She's wondering what I'm doing.
Is.
She's looking at me, thinking, "What's he doing? He's talking to that computer.
Who's he talking to?
He can't hear. She can't hear you, so she just thinks I'm talking at a computer. That's disturbing for her."
Do you have a backup set of headphones that you could put on her that you could listen to and
we could try that, couldn't we, Cookie? Do you want to put headphones so you can hear Uncle Andy? We're talking about Noel Edmonds going on Concorde. You might enjoy it. Well, she's wagging her tail, which is a good sign.
Oh, good. Yeah.
She's always wagging her tail, to be honest. That's one of the things I like about having a dog, is that they're so stupid. Yeah. They're happy even when they're sad. She's like moaning, but at the other end, the tail's still wagging because she's thinking, this is distressing, but at the same time, it's a bit of an adventure. And life is an adventure, and it's always exciting and distressing simultaneously, I suppose.
It is.
That's the way she's looking at it.
Are you sure this is going to work, or should we do this later on, or tomorrow or something? I'm fine.
Let's keep going. It's fine with me.
All right.
If you don't think it's too annoying for the listeners... I think usually she settles down, mate. Usually she settles down in the end.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Whatever works for you. So, Speedbird, we see some luggage being loaded onto the plane. But this isn't just any luggage. This is Concorde passenger luggage.
Yeah.
This is deluxe luggage. And it says, and Noel himself says, the passenger's luggage is loaded with individual care.
Yeah.
Concorde doesn't use the more conventional containerised baggage handling system. It's almost like,
That's for the scum. That's for the scum on charter flights to Torremolinos.
You won't get any swarthy Spaniards with a cigarette dangling out the sides of their mouths, handling your bags with their
Don't
sweaty
worry about
palms.
that. This will be gloved hands by people who are educated at minimum to grammar school level.
Gloved UK hands at both ends, at America as well. Send them over, and it will be.
There will be no American
deluxe
hands
bespoke.
upon your luggage. And all luggage on Concorde is, of course, leather luggage. No man-made fibres. Not on this bird.
Fuck me. There's an external inspection by a flight engineer who's basically kicking the tyres of the plane. He's having a look around, having a look underneath, seeing if anything's fallen off or loose.
Andy, when you go on your holidays, what sort of luggage do you like to take with you? Do you take 80s luggage, which is either a huge fucking, like, really flimsy, massive holdall, right? That's like the nylon is so thin, the zip is going to like give on its first attempt, right? Or 70s luggage, which is a proper fucking square
70s?
Suitcase, like you see
Leather.
them on Carry On Abroad. And it's
With big
impossible
belt
to
straps.
lift. With belt straps, yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes early 90s luggage for me was I'd have a right shabby old big rucksack. And we all got by fine, didn't we? But now luggage is
did.
different. Everything has to be on wheels with a little handle.
Well, I recently upgraded. Last year I upgraded to a 4-wheeled suitcase.
Wow.
I'd been using a 2-wheeler for a few years,
Yeah.
but I thought it was starting to fall to bits. I thought,
It's
let's go
time.
4 wheels. Let's go 4 wheels. Let's do it properly.
And are you enjoying that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love just lifting the handle up just to because it's got adjustable heights, the handle.
Yeah.
So I can just hold it at a height that's just right for just wheeling it along by my side. And I feel like every inch the international traveller and jet setter.
Yeah, well, I've travelled by plane with you, and you do sort of carry yourself. You remind me a bit of DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can.
Yes, that's what I aim for.
When you sashay through a departure lounge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked about it before. I had a solo trip to Alicante in September, which was it was the dream. I still yearn for doing that again, where I just dumped the kids for 3 days and just fucked off and sat on a balcony and got the sun and read books and stuff. It was lovely. But I bought a special hand luggage size mini case for that. It's a suitcase. It's got wheels. It's got the handle, but it's specially designed so that it fits into the hand luggage requirements of all the major airlines.
I've got one of them. You feel great when you get through because they look at it and they think, this looks like a suitcase on wheels. You're checking that. I go, no, I'm fucking not. Get your tape measure out. This is coming with me, mate.
Yeah. And then that's it. And then you fuck off up to the Greg's. In the departure lounge.
Weigh it and wait, dickhead. It's coming with me.
I mean,
you're not getting your filthy mitts on this.
I know it's not big and it's not clever, but that was a 6:45 a.m. flight that I was on. I had to get out of bed at like 4 a.m. to get there for it. It meant that I was through check-in in seconds, and I had a pint in my hand at 5:05 in the morning.
Legendary. I've just booked a family holiday for the summer. Portugal package deal, and it's a 6 a.m. flight from Gatwick on the day of departure. So I'm seriously putting some thought towards airport hotel the night before.
Might have to be done. Yeah.
I've done it before, and it's extremely exciting. So that's one of the things that appeals to me.
So excited to sleep.
It's so exciting to go the night before and stay in like the Gatwick Holiday Inn or something like that. It's fucking knockout, mate.
I did a holiday a few years ago to Menorca because I am the logistics king.
Yeah.
I shopped around and it was about 900 quid cheaper to go from Edinburgh because Scottish school holidays are different to English school holidays.
Oh yeah.
So we drove
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What a great
We
idea.
drove up to Edinburgh. But then when we got back, it was something like 11:30 at night. So we just stayed in the travel lodge next to Edinburgh Airport.
Edinburgh. Brilliant.
So that was like a bonus holiday
Extend
night.
the adventure.
Yeah.
Andy Dawson Travel. Extend the adventure.
The adventure never ends with Andy Dawson. So that was good. The flight engineer's having a look at the tyres. The captain and the first officer are testing everything that flashes, moves or beeps on the flight deck. And there's a lot of stuff on the flight deck there in the cockpit.
Right.
I think there's a bit where we hear the captain say, "I've checked it, it's 100%.
I'm convinced that there's a lot less communication in real life than there is for the show, because I think a lot of it, they're doing it every fucking day. It's just normal.
Yeah.
It's like if someone said, if Noel Edmonds came to us and said, I want to do a documentary about Britain's most prolific podcasters, okay, we'd go, all right, and then we go, I just want it to be real, just do your usual thing. And we're just like literally, one of us WhatsApps the other one saying PR, stands for pod ready, insight to our code language there, listener. And then we WhatsApp each other and go, all right, how's it going? All right, 3, 2, 1, record.
Also the word, I say the word podvailable as well.
Podvailable.
Are you podvailable today?
But then a huge amount of our communication is done almost with the merest, most imperceptible raise of the eyebrow or flick of the eye. Right, because we've been doing it together for so long, and that wouldn't work for old Noel. He'd be like, I need you to make it more explicit, so I need you to throw in some technical terminology like, we are good to go, and Andy needs to press a number of buttons on his laptop. We are approaching, we are R -5, -4, -3, -2, -1. We are recording the podcast.
Commence podding.
Yeah. And that's what I think he's done here, because they're over talking when he goes, it's 100%. I don't think he'd say that in real life. I think Noel has encouraged him to say extra things to make it feel more sexy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And there's also a bit later on where the captain talks us through all of the stuff that's in the cockpit.
Yeah.
And he basically just points out 3 things.
Yeah.
And it looks like all of the other dials and readings and things are just there for decoration.
But I have always thought that about cockpits anyway. He's like, that's the speedometer, that's the petrol gauge, and that one there, that tells you the temperature outside.
And there's a compass that tells us which direction we're going in. And that's pretty much it.
And that's it. That's your lot. This other stuff is just a load of smoke and mirrors, to be honest.
John there's got a map. We're all good. Yeah, definitely. And the Alpha. This is Alpha Beta, is it? This one I can't remember what it's called again, because there's 2 Concords.
Yeah.
And the other one is Alpha, which was the first one. And there's a bit of footage of Alpha. It's at its 12,000 hours service after 12 years in service, and it's done 12 million sky miles. So obviously there's this bit of footage, which is obviously it's just complete. We'll call it Noel nip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It totally is Noel
It's
nip.
absolute Noel
and
nip.
he almost is twitching. You can see him twitching like a cat twitches when you bring catnip into the room. Like their little nose goes up and they start sniffing the air. That's sort of what Noel's doing while they're talking.
Yeah. Oh, she doesn't like it there. She's talking about cats.
Hey. Yeah. Well, get you some dog nip. Yeah, I'll get you some dog. You know what? I'll give her a little treat. That might appease her a little bit. Psychologically, this probably isn't the right thing to do, because
you're rewarding.
I'm rewarding whining, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
But needs must. Sit
You're
down.
rewarding dissent.
Sit. Do you want a biscuit?
Here, eat that.
Eat that and shut your mouth.
Here, have a bit of beef jerky. That'll keep you going for half an hour.
I've put all her toys in there, but she's not interested. If you want an update, all she's done is savage the absorbent pad I've put down for her to piss on. She's just eaten that.
I should shit it out later on.
Yeah.
In the pen.
I'll fucking eat this. I'll show you what I think of this. It's going inside me.
So, the Alpha plane, it's been stripped back to bare metal. The insulation's been stripped back, and then he tells us that the skin temperature of Mach 2 is the boiling point of water. That means fuck all to anybody, as far as I'm concerned. It's more Noel jargon, which he loves. He says the Alpha's been given a clean bill of health and is confidently expected to fly well into the 21st century. Well, that sadly
that turned out not to
happen.
be true. It got just into the 21st century and then got cancelled.
It did. Tragically, of course.
I wish they'd bring it back. I wish they'd bring it back so much. I mean, that's really why we're doing it. Because, like, I'd love for us to record a podcast on Concorde.
Oh, God, yeah.
Jalapeño.
I don't suppose you're that bothered by Chris Evans, are you?
Not really.
Nah. Well, the thing about him is that I don't listen to his radio shows or anything. I'm not anti him, but it's never been like, oh, I'm really into Chris Evans. But I'm really interested by him as a bloke, right?
Right.
And
psychological study.
Yes, he's a fascinating bloke, and he's not unlike. To me, he's the Noel of his generation. And I know that he said in interviews before that, Noel was like a influence or whatever. Because it's the same thing. He was like a broadcaster, but he was also a media mogul, right? And also he like, I mean, this is a bit harsh, but you know the way we say about like Noel, you can't really see what he does, but whatever it is, it works. Do you know what I mean? That's like Chris Evans. Like Chris Evans will never tell a joke and make you laugh your head off. But what he does is he surrounds himself with good people and he kind of generates an atmosphere that people find engaging, right? Anyway, his books are really interesting. And like he wrote like I think 3 memoirs, and in either the first or second, you read how he had a very kind of, very working class background, not much money at all in the family, blah, blah. His dad got ill from overwork and he had a lot of struggles and stuff. And then like, you get to the bit where he's decided, fuck this, I'm going to buy Virgin Radio, right? I want to be a radio presenter because I really enjoy it, but I'm fed up of having bosses because I hate being told what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my agent and tell him to find a way that I could buy a radio station. And the agent goes off and just I'm going to buy the radio station that I currently work for because that way I'm the boss and I don't have to answer to anyone, right? So they just find financial backers and fucking sweet talk them and go, look, who better to run this radio station than him? He's like the top broadcaster in the country. He knows the business inside out. And he sweet talks these investors into backing him. And then he goes to Richard Branson's house. And his agent says,
money in a bag.
Whatever you do not ever talk to Richard Branson without me being there. Because Richard Branson is the canniest and wiliest negotiator in Britain. And he will eat you alive.
Do not antagonise Branson.
Do not look at him.
Head off.
And if he stands up on his hind legs, remain totally still. It's like that.
Look at the floor. Look at the floor. The man looks like a lion for a reason.
Fucking Branson does a superb power play on Evans, right? Because it's very alpha. It's like Evans is a power player too.
Stag beats stag.
Suddenly he's got into the ring with a fucking super heavyweight. And I can't remember the exact circumstances, but Branson ends up going, look, I can't talk to you now because I'm dead busy. But I could probably talk to you if you can. I'm going on Concorde in a minute to New York. If you come with me, I'll talk to you then, right? And
That's good.
And he really casual. If obviously you can afford to get a ticket or whatever, he's not paying for him. So Chris Evans goes, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So they get on Concorde, and the agent gets on too. But the agent falls to sleep or something, which Branson waits for, and then goes, Chris, why don't you come up the front and we'll have a chat? So Chris Evans goes up the front and sits and does the deal to buy Virgin Radio off of fucking Branson. And the agent wakes up. What are you talking to him for? I told you not to talk to him. He probably spiked me drink. But the deal's done. And just that is what you want. Like this working class kid is on Concorde negotiating to buy a radio station from Richard Branson whilst they fly across the Atlantic. And I love that. And it makes me want for us to get it back up.
To do that.
Well, not to buy anything off Branson. I don't think we've got the wherewithal. I mean, you might do, but I panic.
We could get the backers, I think.
But I don't want to buy anything off Branson. All I want to do... Does Branson own Branson Pickle? Is that his still? Or did he sell that?
That's Branston.
Oh, okay. I always thought...
That's Richard Branston. It's also Richard.
And is he richer than Richard Branson? Or
he probably is, because they do the baked beans as well, which are the best ones, I think.
Yeah.
Branston.
Yeah.
Bring out the Branston.
He's
probably richer than Richard Branston.
He's going to be minted, isn't he?
He's changed his name to Richest Branston.
Richest Branston. Because I'm fed up of me getting confused with that fucking lion-faced prick. What's he ever done? He's done his fucking records, which is a children's business, right? Then he's done a fucking radio station. Next thing you know, at one point he was trying to sell his own fucking cola brand. What a joke. Stick to pickle and beans and you won't go far wrong.
What's he doing now? He's trying to go to outer space. What the fuck is that about? You know what I did when I saw that he got into outer space? I just upped the production on the beans. That's all you need to do.
And I sit back.
Stick to what you know.
I sit back in my rig.
Stick with it.
I put my feet up. I spend half the day watching that one with Ben Shepherd where they have the coins, right? Which I fucking love. I watch that every fucking day. I don't need to do fuck all else. I've got a gym in my own, but, I use it sometimes. I'm not that bothered.
Do you watch that? Do you know if them coins are chocolate or not? Because they look like they might be.
Because I've had my assistant call ITV and say, look, Richest Branston demands to know what's inside them coins. And by the way, I'm one of their main advertisers. Have you seen the amount of ad space I buy for Branston Pickle and Branston Beans on ITV daytime? That's where my fucking audience are. And I've said, listen, if I don't get an answer soon, then I'm withdrawing my investment. I'm going to do a boycott.
And turned out they're not chocolate, but they said they'd send me a couple out. They sent me one gold and one silver that were made of chocolate, and I thought that's the least they could do.
And I've also said I want a personal note from Ben Shepherd himself too. I've demanded that. I don't need a phone call or a personal meet and greet. A note would be fine with something nice written in it.
Although it's not hard to do video message in this day and age. So,
but I'm just saying. I'm not one to make a fuss, but it's just a thought. All the best, Richard Branston. Richest Branston. That'll be me and you on Concorde trying to buy the rights to Branston Pickle off of Richest Branston. And he'll be fucking leading us a merry dance in the fucking negotiations as well.
He will. He'll take the piss out of us.
I like you lads, but at the end of the day, what do you know about? You know about podcasting. What does that... You might know a lot about podcasting, but does that mean you have the first clue about pickle? No, it does not. Two very different worlds, two very different industries, trust me.
As I said to Richard Branson many a time, stay in your fucking lane.
And we'll be like, no, but we think that there is an overlap because we understand the needs and desires of our audience, many of whom are probably Branson consumers.
We talk about beans in the podcast quite often.
Talking about beans and manufacturing the cunts are two very different things. Trust me, I've met a million fucking wannabes like you, want to get into the beans industry, and you think just because you've eaten a lot of them, you know how to make them and sell them. No, but be careful, is what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of people end up with nothing. Cookie's gone to sleep. That's good, isn't it?
Brilliant. So what happens next? We're back in the cockpit with Captain John Hutchinson. Takeoff prep. He's doing all his checks and all that with ground control. Gets clearance to taxi. Lowers the nose of Concorde. Of course, Concorde is the nose, of course, is its most famous element, and anyone with a big nose in the 1970s and 80s were automatically assigned the nickname Concorde.
Yeah.
As a
Alan
result,
Smith. You know Alan Smith, this former Leicester and Arsenal striker, now a sort of very dreary pundit, co-commentator, in my opinion.
Inexplicably still doing the job.
I tell you what I find weird is how they let him often do it on Spurs Arsenal, one of the most hotly contested derbies, and he is an Arsenal legend. It just seems strange to me. But anyway, he looked in his prime. I can't think of many humans who look more like Concorde than him. Yeah,
he's probably up there. Barry Manilow.
Manilow. But the thing about Manilow is he had a bit of a perm, didn't he? And so that, to me, Alan Smith, and people have forever, it's an age-old debate. It's like Messi versus Ronaldo. Who's better, Manilow or Smith, right? People are always comparing them. But for me, Smith was always more aerodynamic.
You think so?
Because his hair was very straight. It was lank hair, wasn't it?
Yeah. Very thin hair. Whereas Manilow
much more body.
Zhuzhed his hair up.
Don't get me wrong. I'm very much a fanilo, which is what you call, like, that's the official name for fans of Barry Manilow. Not to be confused with Fanilo, which is what you call someone who is a fan of Fanny.
Yeah.
I'm a fanilo, and I do like him, but for me, the hair was too bulbous for him to ever really look exactly like Concorde.
Is a Fanilo not a fan of low Fanny?
Low hanging Fanny.
Low slung.
Well, no. Oh, we're going into dangerous territory.
Let's move on. Let's go back to Concorde. Stick to what we know. So it's proper nerd telly when we're watching all of this take-off prep.
All I've written is, like, I'm looking back at my notes from when I first watched this last week. And, Noel is so... I've written, Noel is so fucking excited, the weirdo. And I've obviously been angry whilst watching it at some points, because I've also written, this is a vanity project and a total indulgence.
It's almost like the BBC Director General's notes after it had been on.
Yeah, or I've written into points of view with fucking Barry Took. Because it's like, I'm like thinking, is this what my fucking licence fee's going on? Because Noel is just like, this is a Jim will fix it for Noel. This is his dream. And he is in dreamland, and you can see how, like, there's almost like little bits of like foamy spit forming at the corners of his mouth, because he can't stop talking and enthusing about, and that's lovely for him. But I'm thinking, this is an expensive bit of television you've made here, and you're just fucking nerding out over Concorde's dashboard.
And for other aeroplane fanatics, of which, I mean, that's fine if that's what you're into, but it's quite a niche.
Pretty niche. I suppose they'd argue, that's what the BBC is here for, to cater to niche interests.
It is. It absolutely is. ITV would never have done this.
No.
And God knows they love an indulgence. But there's some like phrases that Noel uses which are just, he's just nerding out properly. Her secret to sustain high speed is her smooth, classic aerodynamic shape.
Shut up, Noel. That's not insightful.
We never see Noel from below the waist at any point, and that's because he's sporting a huge erection, I imagine.
That'll be it.
Escapade. He says quite a modest 10,000 pounds of thrust in the supersonic cruise. Whatever that means.
At some point,
I don't know what that means.
There are certain points where it's like, those like magnets you get for the fridge that are like loads of different words that you can arrange in any order.
Yes.
He's got like words to do with fucking
plain ones.
Yeah. And he's just fucking firing them out in random combinations excitably. There's a line here, I don't know if we've got to this bit yet, but I've made a special note of where he just goes, the most amazing thing about this craft is the way she powers straight up. He loves that, doesn't he? The way it powers straight up. I don't even know what that quite means, to be honest. I mean, I would have thought all planes do that.
It feels like sexual content again.
It does.
He also says Concorde can still match the speed of a bullet because she's designed so much like one. So they've just made a big bullet with a pointy nose on it and turned it into an aeroplane. But then he goes, prepare yourself for a sequence of events which are unlike any other flying experience.
Yeah, I made a note of that exact line.
And I just thought, we'll see about that. And it turns out that it's kind of not really that impressive at all. It's just a plane taking off.
That's the thing. I mean, all of it's like that. I mean, I hate to be like this because obviously, I love Concorde. You love Concorde. Everyone of our generation loves Concorde. We had the utmost respect for it, and we all miss it. But fuck me, Noel. Like, there's a lot of shit you're saying that is like you're really over promising on shit because Concorde is what it is, but when you're just filming inside the cabin of Concorde, it's not as exciting as you're making it out to be, because it's just a camera inside a fucking airplane.
I guess the thing is that we all, if you've flown on an aeroplane, you know what it's like to take off. You watch out the window.
Yeah.
You go along, and then it goes up at an angle, and everything looks like it's a bit weird, and then you go up and up and up, and then the ground and the people all get small, and then you're in the clouds, and then you're in the sky, and then that's basically it for the next 3 hours or whatever. And what we're getting here is we're seeing that instead of out the side of the plane, we're seeing it from the front, which we probably haven't seen before, but it's the same thing. It's just going along, and then up and up and up and up. And we don't even get the peak down.
It's kind of impossible to really show and demonstrate how amazing Concorde is. I think that's what Noel may be learning from this, and therefore he's having to hype up his hyperbole, like to new levels with each passing moment of this show, because it's becoming clear to him that the amazing fucking science and technical achievement and engineering know-how behind this plane can't really be conveyed via television cameras. It just can't. He can say it goes faster than a bullet, but he's probably said, right, what I need is we need to get one of the world's top snipers to fire a bullet alongside the plane. Then I want you to slow the footage right down so we can see the plane beating the bullet through the sky. And someone's gone, no, it's just not possible. Don't fucking tell me it's not possible. That's what they said when I got posh paws onto fucking Swap Shop. They said it was impossible to make a mechanical dinosaur.
They said dinosaurs are extinct now. You can't bring them back. I said, watch me.
And I fucking did it. And guess who's fucking ripping me off now? That cunt Spielberg. He's making a whole film. And he got the whole idea from when he was in the UK and he watched fucking Swap Shop. He was here promoting Empire Strikes Back. And he saw Swap Shop and he saw Posh Paws and it gave him the fucking idea. And now he's made loads of fucking Posh Paws and he's going to make a pretty penny out of a movie. And what does old Nolly get from it? Fuck all. For now, anyway. My lawyers have very much taken an interest in the production.
We're going forensic on this one. So the takeoff bit is enhanced by, you see Concorde getting faster. There's some radio chat with the pilot and the ground control. And then the pilot and the crew are appearing in different squares in the screen. It's like, it's made to look, they've just jazzed it up to make it look more interesting than it actually is. And it just takes off. And it's pretty normal. But, and then there's a bit later on as well where we're seeing, they're going almost Mach 1.8 or whatever. And you can just see out of the windscreen, there's nothing there. There's just sky.
Just sky, yeah.
So,
have you seen the bit yet where they talk about the noise cancellation, like how they have to keep the noise down when they're still going over the houses? Because
that's about to come next.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite bits.
Well, we'll cover that next time.
Okay.
It's the noise abatement procedure, it's called.
Yeah, best bit of the programme.
So, have a look on YouTube. It's still on there. It's just look up Noel's Concorde and you'll find it. And watch along with us, and we'll do more on this next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.